Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. If you want to improve your English through emotional and powerful stories, then you are in the right place. On this channel, we share simple English stories that help you learn naturally through feelings, real-life situations, and deep experiences. Today's story is about a girl named Emma, a quiet girl whose life changed after one unforgettable night. So sit back, relax, and listen carefully. Let's begin. My name is Emma. I am 20 years old, and this is the story of the night that changed me forever. I was never the kind of girl who trusted people easily. I always believed that keeping distance was safer than getting hurt. I had seen people change, promises break, and feelings fade. Because of that, I built walls around myself. Strong walls. Walls that no one could easily cross. People knew me as a calm and quiet person. I smiled when needed, talked when required, but I never let anyone truly understand me. Deep inside, I always felt like something was missing, but I never allowed myself to explore that feeling. Then one day, everything started to change. It began with a simple message. "Hey, are you okay?" I remember looking at my phone and thinking, why would someone ask me that? I wasn't used to people noticing my emotions. But still, I replied. That was the first time I talked to Ryan. At the beginning, it was nothing special. Just normal conversations like everyone else has. But there was something different about him. He didn't rush. He didn't force anything. He just stayed. He asked simple questions, but he listened carefully to my answers. And slowly, without even realizing it, I started replying faster. Then I started waiting for his messages. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Ryan became a part of my daily routine. I would wake up and check my phone. I would go to sleep after saying goodnight to him. It felt normal, but at the same time it felt new. One evening, as I was sitting near my window, watching the sky slowly turn dark, my phone vibrated. "Emma, can we meet tonight?" My heart started beating faster the moment I read that message. Tonight? It felt sudden, unexpected. I stared at the screen for a long time. My mind was full of questions. What if it's awkward? What if I don't know what to say? What if everything changes after this? But somewhere deep inside, there was a voice telling me to go. After a long pause, I replied, yes. The entire day felt different after that. I couldn't focus on anything. I tried to stay calm, but my thoughts kept coming back to the same question. What will happen tonight? When it was finally time, I stood in front of the mirror. I looked at myself for a long moment. I wasn't trying to look perfect. I just wanted to feel ready. But no matter how long I stood there, I didn't feel ready. My hands were slightly shaking. My heart was racing. I took a deep breath and left the house. When I reached the place, the night had already settled. The lights were soft, and everything around felt calm and quiet. And then I saw him. He was standing there, looking around, as if he was waiting for something important. When his eyes met mine, he smiled. That smile, it changed everything. "Hi, Emma," he said softly. "Hi," I replied. At first, everything felt a little awkward. We didn't know where to begin. But slowly, the conversation started. We talked about small things at first. Daily life, random topics. Simple. But then the conversation began to change. It became deeper, more personal. We talked about fears, about loneliness, about things we had never told anyone else. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel like hiding anything. We walked together for a long time, sometimes talking, sometimes just walking quietly. But even in silence, it felt comfortable. It didn't feel empty. It felt like we understood each other without words. At one point, we stopped at a quiet place. The city lights were glowing softly around us. The air felt calm, almost peaceful. There was a moment when neither of us spoke. My heart was beating fast. I didn't know why. I didn't understand what I was feeling. "Emma," he said gently, "you don't have to be scared." I looked at him surprised. "How do you know?" He smiled slightly. "Because I feel the same." That moment, something shifted inside me. For the first time, I didn't feel alone in my emotions. Time passed, but it felt like the world had slowed down just for us. The night grew deeper, and so did my thoughts. I realized something important in that moment. This night was not just about meeting someone. It was about facing myself, my fears, my doubts, my walls. And slowly those walls began to break. I felt something I had never felt before. A strange mix of nervousness, peace, and understanding. It was not about something physical. It was something deeper than that. Something emotional. I was changing, not because of him, but because I was allowing myself to feel. I was no longer the girl who hides everything. I was no longer afraid of emotions. That night, I opened a part of myself that I had kept closed for years. When it was time to leave, I didn't want the moment to end. But at the same time, I knew that something important had already happened inside me. "Tonight was special," he said. I nodded slowly. Yes, it really was. On my way home, everything felt different. The same roads, the same lights, the same world. But I was not the same. When I reached home, I went straight to my room. I stood in front of the mirror again, just like I had before leaving. But this time, I saw someone new. Not a different person, but a different version of myself. I saw strength. I saw honesty. I saw someone who had grown. That night, I didn't just understand someone else. I understood myself. I realized that growing up is not about age. It's not about numbers. It's about moments. Moments that make your heart race. Moments that make you question everything. Moments that show you who you really are. That night was my first real experience of deep emotion. And that was enough to change me forever. After that night, I was not afraid of feelings anymore. I was not afraid of being vulnerable. I understood that emotions are not weakness. They are part of life. Days passed, but the memory of that night stayed with me. Not as something dramatic, but as something meaningful. Something that helped me grow. I became more open, more honest with myself. I started understanding people better. I started understanding my own heart. And slowly, life began to feel different. Not perfect, but real. And sometimes that is enough. Because in the end, it is not the big moments that change us. It is the quiet ones. The ones where we finally face ourselves. The ones where we finally feel something real. That was my night. The night I changed forever. So dear listeners, This story teaches us that real change comes from inside. It is not always about big actions. Sometimes, it is about understanding your feelings and allowing yourself to grow. If you want to improve your English, listen to stories like this every day. Focus on the words, understand the emotions, and try to feel the meaning behind them. If you like this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And tell us in the comments, have you ever experienced a moment that changed your life forever? We will see you in the next story. Until then, keep learning, keep growing,